Welcome back to The Right Stuff with Corky, Melly and Reggie.
And Righty.
Righty.
Righty. Or Matty. Matty?
No, Righty.
Righty.
We sound like sock puppets on the children's show.
Now, still to come this morning, no IVF for blokes behind bars. British law, as you may know, says prisoners shouldn't be allowed to father kids while they're in jail. The European Court disagrees. So, does everyone have a basic human right to a family life? Even prisoners is the question. 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. First, though, we're going to continue with our discussion before the break. I want to know, really, your views on yesterday's pre-budget report. Alistair Darling's, the implication that we've got to spend more now, and then after the next election, we're going to pay for it for the rest of our lives. And also, who do you blame for putting us in the current financial crisis? We've heard a lot from the panel. Let's hear more from you. Amy, who's on the phone, please?
OK, let's go to Jennifer, then on line 5.
Jennifer, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
So, first of all, do you think Gordon Brown is anyway responsible?
Matthew, I have been saying for years now that we are trillions and trillions of pounds in debt, and this government was out to ruin this country. But even I didn't think they were going to do it in such a spectacular way.
OK, so yes is the answer then.
Yes, this country will never, ever recover from this, make no mistake. And I could weep for this country. I feel so upset and sad to see this great country of ours going down the tubes.
Do you think Alistair Darling has the right rescue measures in place?
Nothing. Make no mistake, nothing is going to rescue us, because everybody who's voted Labour over the years thought they were, such a wonderful government. Where do they think all the money has been coming from? It's always been borrowed. The fact that we've got most people are on benefits. We don't manufacture anything here. We're giving money away to other countries. And now our banking system's gone down the tubes. They've actually encouraged people to borrow. Even students are £30,000.
Jennifer, I'm going to jump in, because I think, one, you can't pin it all on Labour, because the family silver was sold by Mrs Thatcher, wasn't it, to fund her way through the recession we had then?
Silver. The gold was sold by Mr Brown, and they inherited a very, very good...
I think you could say the gold went as we tore up the empire, and you could say, well, the gold was only there because we stole it in the first place. What do we think of the rescue plan? Do you think it can get us back on track?
No, he can't. And for goodness sake, keep blaming a government that went out about, I don't know how many years ago now, 12 years ago.
Yeah, Jennifer, just because they went out 12 years ago doesn't mean the problem ended then, OK? The problems continue.
Have you ever known a country to be trillions and trillions?
Well, we're not trillions and trillions in debt, Jennifer. We're not even a trillion in debt yet. Jennifer, you don't know what you're talking about. Get rid of her. Get someone on who does. If you can't even read the papers, there's not much point having a discussion. We're not trillions and trillions in debt, and not everyone is on benefits, right? Those are two undeniable facts. Yeah. Let's move on.
It's a good thing you did that over the phone, man. Sound like she was going to whoop your ass.
Yeah. Or behind, as we say on daytime TV at this moment in time. Behind,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
I've been drinking this Coca-Cola, man. Yeah.
Or indeed, cola drink, as we prefer to say.
I may not be cut out for morning TV, man.
Right, let's go to the phones.
OK, we've got Wayne on line 4.
Wayne, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
Who's to blame, and can we get out of this mess?
It's the banks.
Right.
It is not Gordon Brown.
Right.
Gordon Brown is ploughing as much money to save this country all the time. It is the banks. It's the big fat cats who get the big bonuses and get your money. If you go overdrawn in your account, they will charge you the earth, and they will get every little penny off of you. And they are still getting every penny off of you.
OK, Wayne, thank you. It's the banks. I can see you shaking your head, sir.
Well, I'm only shaking my head insofar as the government can and should control the banks.
Yes.
I mean, you can't just sit there and watch the banks. I mean, yes, that's indeed where a lot of the problems are arising, and hedge funds and people buying and selling things that they actually never really own in the first place, and all of that kind of stuff, which is very complicated, and all the rest of it. But the truth of the matter is, there are financial services, and there are things that we can do, and the government should have had their finger on that pulse. And unfortunately, Gordon Brown was the Chancellor when he should be.
And I'm still very aware on the tax thing that the foundation of New Labour was we are not going going to overtax the middle classes. Labour had previously lost all its elections based on the fact that it was viewed as the party of taxation, and they came successfully electorally by saying we're no longer the party of taxation. Through all that time, in many ways, you could say we had it too easy, and that more could have been done to perhaps put stuff aside for a rainy day, more prudent.
Except that we were being taxed. I mean, I'm not sure now
Well,
what the statistics
stealth
are,
taxes
but
everywhere,
the stealth taxes, I mean, 60-odd tax hikes
Yeah.
of one kind or other. They weren't income tax. It's only income tax that everybody seems to think of
No,
as a
good point.
tax. But actually, it's all the other little bits and pieces. So, in fact,
Like national insurance, the new Labour tax.
And even now they're saying they're not going to do a U-turn on no more taxes, but they're going to do it after they get in. But is it a U-turn now or when it happens? I mean, you know, come on. They're
It's a double
U-turn.
U-turn.
OK. More calls, please.
Yeah, let's go to Mavis then on line 1.
Mavis, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
Do we think Gordon Brown is to blame?
Yes.
OK.
I think, yes, I agree with what somebody on the panel said, that we are paying for the war in Iraq that we were led into. But over the years, he's been Chancellor and he's been spending. We're told that we're in this mess because we're one of the countries that are so up to our eyes in debt on our credit cards.
Yeah.
And yet he's still trying to tell us to spend our way out of this. Would somebody please tell me how that will happen?
Mavis, what about Mel's point before the break? Because we were talking about during the ads over here, because we thought it resonated, that are we going through, we just started to go through a cultural shift, that the idea that it's just me, spend, forget about everybody else is over, and it's time for a massive rethink, maybe a global rethink, Mel.
Absolutely.
Certainly a Western world rethink, Mavis. I don't know what you think about
Yes,
that.
I agree with you there. I've got a daughter who is 32 and a son who is 35.
Yeah.
They've known only this way of living.
Yeah.
My daughter says, you know, this country is in the mess that it's in because we are just so fixed on consumerism.
Oh, totally.
And that's from a 32-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 62, a young 62. I've seen a few Labour governments. This one, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst ever.
OK, Mavis, let me jump in, because we've got so more. I want to get just a couple more in if we can.
OK, let's go to Tim then on line 2.
Tim, good morning.
Good morning.
So who's to blame for the problem?
I'd like to posit there are 3 prime sinners in this one.
Go on.
The first is the estate agents who talked the property market up beyond any realm of sensibility.
Yep.
Second is the banks for...
Although, Tim, on the point of the estate agents, are we not all to blame on that score, that greed became good, we all wanted house prices to go up, we were all party to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
I would agree. Second one is the banks for feeding that by lending 125% mortgages way beyond anybody's sustainability pay, not lending, speculating. You know, they weren't lending on ability to repay, but on the assurance that the property market would keep going up and they'd get their money back.
Which it never could.
Never could. And third, and the key sinner, where the buck must stop, as has already been said, is Gordon Brown.
OK, Tim.
He's lauded it over this for the last 10 years. He should have acted a long time ago. Why could nobody see this coming? We could. It's been inevitable for 4 years, I would suggest.
All you needed was 2 GCSEs and an RSA, as we heard earlier. It's quite interesting, Tim, on the point of housing, that there's some breaking news this morning, which is mortgage acceptances are down, I think it's 52% year-on-year to October. So there's a massive change in the housing market, which again suggests that if Alistair Darling thinks everything's going to be fine and dandy by, autumn of next year, I think he may well be living in cloud cuckoo land. Listen, we'll draw a line under it there for now and move on to some other talking points. Thanks for the last call, Tim. After the ads, we're asking about IVF for blokes behind bars. British law says prisoners shouldn't be able to father kids while they're in jail. The European Court disagrees, and I want to know what you say. Is it a basic human right to be allowed to start a family? Is it fair on the women the villains leave behind, that they should be deprived of children by their lovely husbands? 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. Would a newborn baby, and I think this is probably the most important part of all, would a newborn baby on the outside encourage lags to become model citizens on release? You tell me in a minute or 3.
Which of these countries allow prisoners to have IVF? Is it Spain, Holland or Greece? Find out the answer after the ads.